Every legend has a beginning. This is History Uncovered.
Do you remember the Emperor? The one whose left foot was a cannon, whose power and skill terrified defenders across Europe. This is the story of Adriano, the Brazilian striker who had the world at his feet, only to see it all vanish. What happened to the man destined to be the next Ronaldo? Let's find out. Adriano Lito Ribeiro was born in Rio de Janeiro, in the Vila Cruzeiro favela, one of the city's most dangerous areas. From a young age, football was his escape, his one ticket out. His raw talent was undeniable. He was big, strong, fast, and possessed a left foot shot that was simply unstoppable. The local club Flamengo saw this prodigy and quickly signed him up. At just 17, he made his debut for Flamengo's senior team. It didn't take long for Europe to notice. In 2001, Italian giants Inter Milan came calling. In his very first friendly match for Inter against none other than Real Madrid, a young Adriano stepped up to take a free kick. The power he generated was terrifying. The ball rocketed into the top corner at over 100 miles per hour. The world had just been put on notice. The Emperor had arrived after a successful loan spell at Parma, where he formed a deadly partnership with Adriano. Adriano returned to Inter in 2004, ready to conquer the world. And for a time, he did. He was unplayable. He could outmuscle any defender, outpace them, and unleash thunderbolts from anywhere on the pitch. He scored crucial goals, won trophies, and became the undisputed King of Milan. The fans adored him. He was their emperor, the heir to Ronaldo Nazario's throne for both Inter and the Brazilian national team. For Brazil, he was a force of nature. In the Arlington Copa America final against Argentina, Brazil was trailing 2-1 deep into stoppage time. The trophy was heading to Buenos Aires. But in the 93rd minute, the ball fell to Adriano in the box. With his back to goal, he swiveled and smashed the ball into the net. He had saved his country. Brazil went on to win the penalty shootout, and Adriano was the tournament's top scorer and best player. He was on top of the world. Everything he touched turned to gold. He had fame, fortune, and a talent that seemed limitless. But then tragedy struck. In August 2004, just days after his Copa America heroics, Adriano received a phone call from Brazil. It was the news that would change his life forever. His father, Almir, his hero and his closest confidant, had passed away from a heart attack. Adriano was devastated. In an interview years later, his former teammate Javier Zanetti described that moment. He said he saw Adriano take the call, throw the phone down, and start screaming. It was a scream you couldn't imagine, Zanetti said. From that day on, nothing was ever the same. Adriano was never just a footballer. He was a family man. His father was his anchor, the man who had guided him out of the favelas and kept him grounded. Without him, Adriano was lost. He tried to continue playing to mask his pain with goals. And for a while, he succeeded. The 2004-2005 season was his best ever. He scored an incredible number of goals. But behind the celebrations on the pitch, a deep depression was taking hold. He began turning to alcohol to numb the pain. The joy he once felt playing football disappeared. It became a job, not a passion. He started missing training sessions. His physical condition deteriorated. The explosive power began to fade, replaced by a visible sadness in his eyes. Inter Milan, the club that had once worshipped him, tried to help. They sent him to specialists, gave him time off, but the battle was internal. Club president Massimo Moratti said, "We couldn't pull him out of his depression. He had a nostalgia for Brazil. We tried to take care of him as a person, but when he scored, he would point to the sky, dedicating it to his father." After that phone call, he was never the same. His performances dropped. The goals dried up. The emperor was becoming a ghost. He was loaned out to São Paulo in Brazil in an attempt to help him rediscover his form and happiness. For a brief moment, it seemed to work. Back in his homeland, close to his roots, he started scoring again. But the demons followed him. His struggles with alcohol and discipline continued. He returned to Inter, but it was clear his time in Milan was over. In 2009, his contract was terminated. The emperor had officially abdicated his throne. He returned to Brazil to sign for his boyhood club, Flamengo. Back where it all began, he found a temporary peace. He led Flamengo to their first Brazilian league title in 17 years and was the league's top scorer. It was a fairy tale comeback. The emperor, it seemed, was back. But the fairy tale didn't last. The pressures and temptations of fame in his hometown were too much. The brief resurgence was followed by another decline. He moved to Roma in Italy, but played only a handful of games before his contract was once again cancelled. Spells at Corinthians and Atlético Paranaense followed a similar pattern. Flashes of the old brilliance followed by issues with fitness, discipline, and motivation. His career fizzled out. His last professional appearance was in 2016 for a minor team in Miami. The man who should have dominated a decade of football simply vanished from the game. Today, Adriano lives back in Rio de Janeiro. Photos occasionally surface of him back in the favelas, where he grew up, surrounded by old friends. Some media outlets paint a picture of a tragic figure who lost everything, but others see a man who simply chose a different path. A man who, after losing the most important person in his life, realized that fame and fortune meant nothing without happiness and family. He never won a Ballon d'Or. He never reached the long-lasting heights of Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. But if you ask anyone who watched him play at his peak, they'll tell you the same thing. For a short, brilliant period, Adriano was the most complete, most terrifying, and most unstoppable striker on the planet. He was a force of nature, a true phenomenon. Adriano's story is a powerful reminder of the human being behind the athlete. It's a tale of incredible talent, devastating loss, and the silent battles that are often fought far away from the floodlights of the stadium. It shows that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that some wounds are deeper than any tackle. He may have disappeared from the top of the football world, but the legend of the emperor and that thunderous left foot will never be forgotten. What do you think? Was Adriano's story a tragedy, or did he simply choose to find peace over pressure? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a like, share it with a friend, and make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of football. Thanks for watching.